Welcome back, all you beautiful souls, to another episode of Aligned and Alive. I'm your host, Chrissy May, and today I'm delving into a topic that might seem counterintuitive at first, but carries immense transformative power: the art of surrender. In this episode, we'll embark on a journey to understand how surrendering can lead to liberation, growth, and a deeper connection with God. I will offer practical tips on how to harness the incredible power of surrender. So let's first explore what surrender truly means. Surrender isn't about giving up or losing, it's about releasing control and embracing the natural flow of life. Surrender is the ultimate act of trust in life's process. It means letting go of the illusion of control and embracing the unknown. It's about recognizing that sometimes the most profound changes occur when we surrender to the moment. The beauty of life is the simple fact that when we choose to let go, we simply allow the highest and best good to flow to us. We have no barriers or obstacles in the way, no expectations or beliefs, simply just the acceptance and knowing that something great is flowing towards you and you will accept it in its full glory. I can recall many moments in my life where I have clung too tightly to my plans and expectations, only to find that surrendering to the flow of life brought unexpected beauty and growth. I've experienced this in all aspects of my life and relationships: romantic, platonic, business, the cancer diagnosis of my mom last year, the passing of my dad, the ever changing current of life itself. We are all experiencing it on some level or another. The better you can master the art of surrender, the easier it will be to embrace life's flow. Surrender isn't just a spiritual concept, there's a science behind it as well. Research shows that practicing surrender can reduce stress, anxiety, and promote overall well being. When we stop resisting and start accepting, our brain releases feel good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. The science of surrender is fascinating. It shows that surrender can be a powerful tool for our mental and emotional well being. It's not about weakness, it's about resilience and adaptability. Now, let's get practical. I'll provide you with some actionable tips to start incorporating surrender into your life. Number one, mindfulness meditation. Embrace the present moment through mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness helps us put some space between ourselves and our reactions, breaking down our conditioned responses. So observe the present moment as it is. The aim of mindfulness is not quieting the mind or attempting to achieve a state of eternal calm. The goal is simple. We're aiming to pay attention to the present moment. And the key is without judgment. And I know that's easier said than done. If any judgments do arise during this process, you just have to notice them and yet allow them to pass by. You are just going to observe. That's all you're doing, the present moment as it is, without judgment. I like to practice my mindfulness meditation in nature because it's the connection that I experience is so much more powerful and easier to tap into when I am in nature. So just a little tidbit there. Number two, letting go ritual. One of my all-time favorites. Create a symbolic ritual to release control on a specific issue. I've performed this many, many times. And in full transparency, 99.9% of the time, it really does work. There are those moments where you have extreme attachments, and that's just where you have to transmute it with love for those issues or cords that you are having a tough time cutting and releasing. I always release in love. There is no negative feelings associated in this process. No hate, no blame, no judgments are made. It's only I love you or I love it, whatever you're focusing on, and release it in full and complete love. That's it. You can write what you would like to release onto paper and perform a ceremony around it. You just place the paper in a burn bowl and you picture the issue being carried away, lifted from your physical, emotional, and mental well being. For my faith based listeners out there, this is where I give it to God. I say a prayer and I literally let go and let God. I trust and know that I am protected. I am protected and I am divinely guided. There is a great Bible verse on this one. Many of you have heard it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. That's Proverbs 3:5-6. However, you decide to create your ritual of letting go, allow it to move you in the feeling. Cry, laugh, scream, whatever emotion that comes up for you, you just have to feel it, feel every bit of it, and then release it. And don't look back. Trust and know all is working in your favor. Number 3, journaling. Shocker, huh? That you would hear me say that. Write about your fears, desires, and the things you're ready to surrender. You all know I'm a huge advocate of journaling, so much that I created my own handmade leather journals made in the USA, which you can now even purchase. You just click the link in the show notes. Yes, the power of pen to paper and then reading it out loud when you are done is so powerful. Purge it, all of it, get everything out onto paper and then release it. And if you want, you can use the letting go ritual in the above step I talked about, which is burning it. That's a great way to additionally release it. And number 4, positive self-talk. Use affirmations to remind yourself that surrender is empowering, not weak. Many years ago, I began recording my own affirmations in the voice memos option on your iPhone app. You can click and record whatever you want. I found that to be extremely useful, much more than hearing somebody else's voice. And I would play these back on my morning walks. I noticed it just connected differently than hearing someone else's voice. It was me embedding my voice and truth into my conscious and subconscious mind. I would loop these for months and months on end, and the results were actually extremely profound. So I encourage you to create positive self-talk always, even if it feels weird at first, even if you don't believe it, you just stay consistent with this practice and it'll start reprogramming your subconscious mind to where you actually adapt it as truth. This step is so underrated. You are who you believe you are. So become intentional with those words that you use when you speak to yourself, and it will begin to show up in your reality. You have more strength within you than you may realize. If you are heavy in fear-based thinking, which a lot of people are, please understand fear is natural, but remember that surrender can be empowering. It's about letting go without losing yourself. So start small. You will build self-confidence over time, and you'll begin to free yourself and enter into the art of living, which is going with the flow instead of going against the river. I will leave you with an excerpt for one of my favorite books, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by David R. Hawkins. If you heard the live podcast event episode, you know that I read from this book as well. It's extremely powerful. For those of you who are watching, I'll throw it on the screen real quick. You can see the mechanism of letting go. He states, to be surrendered means to have no strong emotion about a thing. It's okay if it happens, and it's okay if it doesn't. When we are free, there is a letting go of attachments. We can enjoy a thing, but we don't need it for happiness. There is progressive diminishing of dependence on anything or anyone outside of ourselves. He goes on to say, by continuously letting go, it is possible to stay in that state of freedom. Feelings come and go, and eventually you realize that you are not your feelings, but that the real you is merely witnessing them. You become progressively, primarily the witness rather than the experience of phenomena. You get closer and closer to the real self and begin to see that you have been duped by feelings all along. You thought that you were the victim of your feelings. Now you see that they are not the truth about yourself. They are merely created by the ego, that collector of programs, which the mind has mistakenly believed are necessary for survival. Letting go of negative feelings is the undoing of the ego, which will be resistant at every turn. I love this book. It's so good. So if you guys don't have a copy, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, I'll actually put a link in the show notes as well because it's worth the purchase. I hope this episode has shed light on the transformative power of surrender. Remember, it's not about giving up. It's about letting go of control and embracing life's natural flow. Allow the miracle that is meant for you to unfold. You will be amazed at what is ready to align with you right now. Please, 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 please share this podcast with someone today. A coworker, a friend, a family member, anyone who needs additional support and guidance at this time. And if you don't mind giving a 5-star and fab review, it helps the podcast to continue to grow. I really, really appreciate it. Also, I would love to have you join my private community. It's free. Free. There's no cost. It's a way for us to connect deeper. You will receive access to me for all your health tips, personal development tools that will assist you in elevating your life personally and professionally. And who doesn't want to do that? And of course, early bird pricing on all events and retreats. All you have to do is text 480-637-2228 or just click the link in the show notes. I've already prompted the text for you. Literally, all you have to do is click the link and press send. It's that easy. And finally, don't miss next week's episode with the amazing Brian C. North. He's an expert in the field of personal development, and most of the local listeners here in Phoenix, Arizona know him from his extremely successful brokerage and community that he has built over the past decade. We got raw, real, and very vulnerable. The conversation is one that will help you in all areas of your life, personally and professionally. So make sure to follow the podcast and you will be notified when it drops next Wednesday. Make it a beautiful and prosperous day, friends. Much love.